In this video, I'm going to do a showcase of what blocks you have access to in the early game. I'll start with showing you what's accessible before you get clay, and then I'll move on to show you what you can do after you get clay, but before you have metal. And there's not much point in me showing you what you can get once you have access to copper, because once you have metal, you basically can theoretically get every survival accessible block pretty much. Also, just so we can go through these quicker, I'm not going to show you the crafting recipes for them. Just press H to open up the survival handbook and search up the block / item you want, and it'll show you the recipe. Starting off, we have all these dirt types: packed dirt, arid packed dirt, cob, strewn straw, and then rammed earth. These are all fairly very cheap, and then rammed earth you can even put back into your crafting grid and get yourself 5 variants of rammed earth, including the starting variant. So these are very nice blocks for early game building. You also can build with just the low fertility soil, medium fertility soil, and all that, but most people probably won't. I think it would be better to just turn these into the soil blocks instead. The reason cob, honestly, I'm not that big a fan of the texture, but I will show the recipe for cob. Cob gets you a lot for very little, so I will mention that. And then over here, I'm showing off sand and gravel, because honestly, especially the sand, these can work pretty decently as early game floors, or even if you're willing to deal with the gravity of the blocks, they can work as walls as well. Gravel, I haven't actually used too much in builds yet. They might be able to work as floors. I'm not so sure about walls. Maybe for a more ruined look, it can help. But yeah, don't sleep on these blocks, especially the sand, genuinely. Over here, we got stone paths. They're pretty easy to make. You just pick up stone pebbles off the ground, combine them with dirt, and bada bing, bada boom, you got some paths. They also do actually up your walking speed a bit, or just your speed in general. And then surprisingly enough, cobble fences and fanned cobblestone don't require any clay at all versus the other cobblestone variants. And then you see glass over here, and that is because this kind of glass, well, what is it? A quartz chunk. You can find quartz chunks on the ground, and you can just combine them with sticks, and you could just have glass. It is a little bit more of a luxury early game because you have to find all the little quartz pebbles. But if you're willing to go through that before you even get metal, then go for it. And then also you can technically get the cobblestone blocks from ruins. You don't need a pickaxe to pick up the blocks. It just takes a while to mine them. So if you're willing to disassemble ruins, then that's an option. Also, you can make a wooden pan that you use for panning in the water. And you can just place that on things for decoration and stuff as well. Over here, we got the pre-metal wood options. Tool racks are great for decorative purposes, even outside of putting tools on them. You can place them on the outside of your buildings and as little extra details. And then we got the rough hewn fences, wattle fence, gates, wattle gates, and crude ladder. So the crude ladder is replacing what was the regular ladder crafted from sticks before the 1.22 update. So this is what you get now. And it functions very similarly. The main difference is that if you break the supporting block, it will fall off. But now there's normal ladders made from all the different wood types, and those just cost planks and they work like they did before. And then you got yourself a crude door, pretty easy to make. But you do need to be aware that it has a chance to just pop off. But they can still be nice to use. Then we have a layer of sticks, which is just sticks. You can even place it on the side of things and create little roofs and stuff. And you can delete the supporting things and they'll just stay floating. And then quarter logs and regular logs, they work well for building. If you're used to building in Minecraft, you can figure out how to utilize these pretty easily. And then I am including these wooden clubs here because, I don't know, you can kind of put them on the side here and create some weird detailing. I don't know if there's any good use for these for decoration, but there it is for your pre-clay roofing option. It comes in a lot of variants and also pairs well with the hay bale. Pretty cheap. You can use thatch to craft them or craft hay bales, and then with the hay bales craft them that way. And the hay bales only take dry grass. But there's also sod roofing, which I don't remember if you always were able to, but you can craft with just logs and dry grass and then the dirt, where I always knew the board recipe. So this can also be a cool option. And I'm pretty sure, let me look again. I'm pretty sure these come in all the similar variants as the thatch. Yeah, pretty much. And I know someone might ask this in the comments. And so if they still do, even after I say this in the video, you guys are allowed to tease them in the comments. But that question may be, how do I have the containers floating and following the vessels and all that kind of stuff? Well, it's pretty simple. You just go over to your interface and you turn on immersive mouse mode. Be aware if you do turn immersive mouse mode on, it also changes how you have to detach your mouse. Because normally with it off, it opens the containers like this and your cursor automatically gets detached, and so you can easily move things around in containers like so. But with immersive mouse mode on, you have to hold down the Alt key to detach your cursor, and then you can do everything else as you usually do. I personally just like this more, so I always have it on, and I know I often get this question in some of my videos. Don't forget to tease anyone that still asks it. Moving on, we got plants and stuff. Oh, actually, this one's not true anymore. Berry bushes you can no longer just pick up and re-put wherever you want. Well, I guess it's still kind of the case. It's just going to take a really long time for the berry bushes to grow, and you need to take like the whole mechanics change, so it's just not an easy go-to decoration anymore. But regardless, you can punch flowers, pick them up, and replant them very easily, so they're really good decoration for outside of places. And this counts for a lot of flora, like these cactuses. And then also, you can take all the things like papyrus, cattails, and replant the roots and use them as decoration as well as they regrow. You can also pick up vines by just punching them and then place them on any sides of blocks. Also, chests could be used in decorations in some ways, I'm sure. And then we also have this rush matting, which is just like cattails and or papyrus and a knife, and you get some rush matting. It's like a little carpet thingy. And then speaking of carpet-like things, we got pelts. Just take some rawhide, throw some rendered fat on there, wait some time, and then you got yourself some pelts you can place on the ground to be like rugs or whatever you want. Like this bear pelt, you can have fun staring into its soulless eyes. Now we can move on to the building blocks you'll have access to after you start gathering clay. But this is still pre-metal, so no metal tools required for any of this stuff. A very nice block are the mud brick blocks. They're pretty easy to craft, as you see here. We got light mud brick and dark mud brick. And then we got ourselves the cobblestone block, which you can now craft with clay instead of completely destroying your local ruins for them. But without a pickaxe, it could be kind of annoying gathering all the stone required. Also, you can technically make a forge out of the cobblestone blocks, which, depending on how you use it, could probably be used for building in some way. But that one might be hard. Then over here, we have beautiful wattle and daub. These are some really nice blocks that you do have access to before metal, but can be annoying to get a particular kind, because some of them you can't craft with red clay, like it has to be like blue clay or something. Some of them you can craft with red clay, but then there's often a lot of them that like require a specific sand color or type of sand that otherwise you could more easily make once you have access to crafting barrels and having dye, because then you can dye a lot of this daub. Yeah, over here I have where you can, I think for yellow dye it's like onion or heather and water in a barrel, but can't do that till metal, so we don't care about that here in this video. And for those that are unaware of how daub works, you'll take the raw daub, go to a wattle fence, and then you just shift right click. Oh, whoops. Okay, I guess not shift right click, but you just right click with the daub and you keep adding it until it just like finishes. And that also gives you, as I've shown here, 3 different textures. You can get kind of a more ruined look, a cracked look, and then a full finished look. Moving on, we got all the roofing you can do after you have access to clay. Red shingle roofs are what you get from red clay. You'd have to take raw red clay, form them into shingles, and then fire them up into fired shingles. And then it's just as simple as crafting going forward. This is the shingle roofing you get from blue clay, and this is the shingle roofing you get from fire clay. Once you have access to a beehive kiln, which you're going to need metal for, you can actually get more differently colored shingle roofing. So like this one is like a tan color, got like a cream roofing color, but this requires the beehive kiln. When you're firing the shingles. And then for the final roof, we got slate roofing. It's any clay with just the slate stone. And they get this nice, dark, rustic almost roofing. For our final area here, it's kind of like just miscellaneous things that you might be able to use in your building. Like you can make these chimney blocks. This is what the red clay one will give you, and this is what blue clay will get you. You can utilize your raw clay formed items or even your cooked ones as little decorative details placed on top of blocks. So you can try messing around with that. Same thing goes with the storage vessels. You don't have to just use these for storage. You can literally put them onto blocks and kind of create almost like a pokey little partial pillar thingy. Like you can be creative with this. I don't know what application you use it for, but similar applies to the bloomery. You could probably figure out a weird place for this kept. And then we got probably the easier stuff, flower pots and planters. Just put flowers in them. But you can even take the flowers out of them and just use the pots themselves as more like decorative little things. And then we got oil lamps. They are a really nice little lighting thing. Also, there's torches, but torches burn out after a bit, and unless you got a torch holder, torches are a little hard to use. I definitely might have missed a few things, so definitely comment them down below. If you enjoyed this video, then consider checking out the rest of my channel, and perhaps even doing the subscribing and liking. Also, I have a community Discord now, so if you're interested in that, the link is in the description. And if you support me on Ko-Fi or become a member of the channel, then you'll get a supporter role and access to supporter-only chats in the Discord. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you have a good day and or night. Bye-bye.